GM everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Sunday, the 26th of January. Let's get straight into the charts and take a look at Bitcoin. And as we can see, Bitcoin very, very slow over the weekend. We've had an inside bar yesterday. We seem to be forming another inside bar today. This is when the candle is within the previous candle, known as an inside bar. Usually, this marks a contraction in volatility. What we often see is when we actually get a break, a close above the previous candle's high or low, that tends to then initiate a more volatile move, a more aggressive move. So I'm expecting us to see some volatility pick back up again, probably from Monday. We do have FOMC on Wednesday of next week, so potentially we see things chop sideways up until then. Potentially, that is why the market is just starting to slow down a bit here and hasn't yet broken out higher. But if we just go to a weekly chart, we can see here that we have this descending trend line. Let's actually do it on the daily. We have this descending trend line. We've broken it out. We've retested. We are now finding comfort above the 100K level. Obviously, before we've been rejected. The bears were strong here. Big rejection, strong rejection. Now breakout. Now consolidation at all-time highs. A lot of people are starting to get very frustrated that we've seen this really this complete stream of bullish positive news for Bitcoin. The digital asset stockpile, obviously Trump's positive comments, Trump's World Liberty Financial buying up Ethereum, buying up other crypto assets, Link, Athena, etc. We've seen the rescinding of SAB 1, I think it's 121, which means that now banks have been given the green light to actually custody Bitcoin. So, and I think digital assets. So this is massive. We're seeing more ETF applications get filed. I saw there was one today for Litecoin as well. So we are seeing a complete warming up of the legacy financial system, of the regulation, of obviously the administration in the US has gone completely from anti-crypto to pro-crypto, and yet Bitcoin isn't really moving. And I know people are very frustrated out there, but we just have to remember these things do take time. We have gained acceptance above this 100,000 level. We've gained acceptance above the 102,000 level. We're currently just shy of 105,000. We are currently, if we look at the weekly chart, we are currently on course to close as the highest ever weekly close for Bitcoin. None of this is bearish, guys. And I think everybody just needs to manage their expectations a little bit and realize that the effects from a lot of this news and a lot of these changes are going to take some time. Obviously, I've traded a very, very long time. I've traded for over 10 years myself. I know how the market often reacts to news. And usually when, the market is expecting some news, it prices that news in ahead of time. So if there's an actual expectation that some positive news is going to come out, traders are then going to buy an expectation of that news coming out. And then obviously they sell when that news is released because there's no longer that expectation of that news coming out. Obviously, buy the rumor, sell the news. Probably heard about this. It's a fairly widely known sort of behavioral pattern that the markets trade when it comes to news. Obviously, what we've seen is we've seen news come out that the market hasn't been expecting, that the market hasn't priced in. I don't think anybody expected all of this to come out so quickly. The rescinding of SAP 121, the digital assets stockpile being announced within the first week of Trump's administration. Obviously, they've got this crypto task force that now Senator Loomis is heading up. She's very, very pro crypto. She wants to push for the Bitcoin strategic reserve. So we're seeing lots and lots of obviously the Trump meme coin as well. Who's expecting that? Nobody's expecting that. That's on Solana chain, massive endorsement for Solana. So what I'm saying is, all of this news has come out, and I think there's traders out there that are saying, well, we expected some positive news to happen when Trump came in. We didn't know the extent of it, but I think the market can't decide, is this a sell the news event? Because I think they're without a doubt there is some heavy selling here. But there's traders on the other side that's saying, well, the positive news was Trump's going to be president. We've had Trump come in as president, plus we've had, crypto executive order, and we've had all of these other bits of really positive news. So we were going to sell Trump coming in, but actually things are now different. And I think the market is just really trying to digest, are we meant to sell off? Do we sell our bags and buy back lower in a month's time? Or do we actually, is this it? Is it time to go? Is it time to run? And all we can really do is just stay locked in and assess what exactly is going on in the charts here. Are we losing levels? Are we gaining levels? Is the market showing signs of strength or signs of weakness? Obviously, this was a sign of weakness. Bears are strong here. Bears are strong here. Actually, bears are losing their strength. And up here, bears have been unable to push us down significantly back below this 102,000. And things like sort of momentum oscillators starting to turn around, moving averages all starting to cross now back to the upside. I mean, momentum is ready, volatility is ready to go back into this market in a major way soon. And I really, really think we're about to mark up higher. The market also needs to decide, is that it? Is that all the positive crypto news we're going to get? Is that the absolute peak of the news flow? Does it get any better than this? And a lot of people, I hear the argument out there. People are saying, well, it can't get bigger than this. It can't get any better than that. A digital asset stockpile. Like, what bigger news is there than that? But remember, all this is really there's going to be another big buyer of digital assets potentially coming into the space. We've already got massive buyers of digital assets coming into the space. I mean, this is not like one of one. It's one of many. I mean, it will be one of many big buyers, not just the only buyer. The US government is not the only buyer in the land. There's many other countries, and usually what we see, and this is not just markets related, but this is more, from a society and a politics perspective, is the US makes decisions and the rest of the world follows. And certainly, I think people are probably underestimating the influence that the US has on global governments around the world. So potentially, it's not just the US; it's going to be other major big global governments are going to start investing more into blockchain, more into cryptocurrency. We're going to see more cryptocurrency friendly regulation around the world. Eric Trump has been teasing that there's going to be zero capital gains tax on any US crypto tokens, US created, US founded crypto tokens. So, we've got the banks now talking about if we're allowed to offer custody of Bitcoin and digital assets, we're going to do it. Well, they've now just been given the green light to do it. So there's, the positive news is not going to stop. We're going to keep on getting more and more positive news stories, and the effects of these are going to be felt not today, not this week, but over the next few weeks, over the next few months. I'm absolutely sure we will see further positive news coming out over the next few weeks and months. And prices for me, like, if they're not going down, if we're not rejecting this level and starting to lose these levels, there's not too much to get panicked about. I think people just need to calm down a little bit and be a bit patient and say, let's give this a few more weeks. Let's give this another couple of months. I mean, if we look at the monthly Bitcoin chart, we can see that we are currently working on a really bullish, green engulfing candle. I mean, yes, we've basically taken out the high from last month, which was obviously this nasty looking bearish sort of shooting star candle. That's been invalidated already. So there's nothing really on the monthly to give us too much concern. The weekly is about to close at a new weekly all-time high. The daily, like I said, just looks like it's taken a little bit of breather, letting some of the moving averages catch up. I mean, all this consolidation is bullish. It lets these longer term moving averages catch up. It lets the market start to establish itself, start to find comfort at these higher prices, comfort above 100K, 100K is no longer, the big, massive, sort of immovable object that it was a few months back when we first came up and approached it. We've passed it now. We're consolidating above it now. I mean, this weekly close will be the second, only the second weekly close. Actually, the third, fourth, no, the fourth actually, the fourth weekly close we've had above 100K. So we're starting to get acceptance above the 100K level, and I'm bullish here. It's bullish until it's not. It's in an uptrend until it's not. It's in an uptrend on practically every single time frame right now. I don't know what more people want, but of course, when we get this breakout, this breakout's going to be aggressive. It's going to be violent, and we're going to go a lot higher if things break to the upside. I still believe they will. If we just look here at the liquidation heat map, obviously this is going back to the last week. So this is a longer term look at the liquidations. We can see we've got some liquidations down here to around 100, 101,000. So potentially we do come down for one more flush. Obviously that would, I think, really, really send this market, if we fall below 100K again, into complete panic mode. The market really seems to struggle with any sort of move that they don't expect, with any sort of downside move. But I do think that would be a massive opportunity. I still think the low's in over the last month. I don't see this going below 90,000 again. And look, you've got all of these liquidations above price. And who knows, we might not even come down here. We might just start to take off to the upside. I think probably in an ideal scenario, you'd sort of come down and you take these out on Monday, and then you'd look to reverse and go higher over the remaining of next week. But I kind of think until FOMC will probably stay in a holding pattern. I just think there's been so much emphasis and attention on interest rates over the last couple of months. Obviously, Trump has now come out and said he wants lower interest rates. He's going to put pressure on the Fed to reduce interest rates further. He wants to bring down the value of the dollar. So let's just see what happens over the next few weeks. You really can't take your eyes off this. But I've had people that I know that have been in crypto a very, very long time turn around to me this weekend and say, look, what do you think on the markets? And I've said, well, for now, there's a lot of bullish news. I'm still bullish. I don't think a cycle tops it. I've had people turn around to me and say to me that have effectively sold everything. They've gone to fiat. They're completely out of this market. And these are guys that have been in crypto space a long time, crypto OGs, if you want to call them, that are really, really nervous here. So I'm thinking, like, who's selling here? Is it what a lot of people are saying, that the big institutions are coming in and they're dumping on us, and they're dumping on the crypto bros, the OG crypto bros, and they're going to try and force us out of our tokens and take us lower, and we're going to see, the tops in until later on in the year, which is one chain of thought? Or is it actually, the institutions that are coming in and actually keeping us up here, that are actually pushing us above 105,000, your Michael Saylors, your BlackRock ETF, they're buying right now. They're not the ones selling. So who's the one selling? I think it's probably the crypto OGs that are saying, look, I bought crypto, I bought Bitcoin back at, $1,000, $500, $200. It's gone all the way up. It's above $100,000. I'm sat on a massive amount of open profit, and I want to realize some of that profit. I'm fairly sure once that selling subsides, we will start to go higher. And obviously, I do have data and some information about this up, and that is coming from obviously the ETF flows. So we can see just sustained massive inflows really since the middle of January, with 700, 600, 1,000 massive inflows into the Bitcoin ETF. These don't seem to be letting up. They don't seem to be stopping. I know we've said in the past this can be a little bit of a counter indicator. These are mainly for now retail investors likely buying the ETFs. Surely when when there's max euphoria and then these numbers get too hot, expect to see some flush to the downside. But we are seeing not just a one-off. This is sustained buying in the ETFs, and I think it's only going to go up as we start to break out and as more confidence starts to come in the market. Like I say, the market seems to be really, really nervous now. I don't remember a time where Bitcoin was in a bull market trading close to all-time highs, and yet sentiment was just so, so poor. People are so, so afraid that this might be the cycle top. That is not how cycle tops get put in, people. So, yes, I'm not too worried here. I really do think we're going to continue to follow our path. Like I say, there might be a flush back down towards 100,000 or just below one more time to completely shake out any weak hands still holding on here. But I really think that we do, over the course of the next week and into the end of the month, start to mark up to around 110. Potentially we consolidate into early February. And then I really think in 1 month's time, by the end of February, like I say, we have broken out. I'd be surprised if we aren't up towards 115, 116,000, potentially 120,000. I'm sticking to my guns and I'm standing by exactly what I've been saying and what I think about this market. So I'm definitely not panicking here. Let's take a quick look at tether dominance as well, because I think this is relevant to what's going on. And you can see here, we are starting to break down. There is, like I say, I've seen people say this is a range and potentially, we're at the lower part of the range. So now we're going to bounce up another time. Potentially we do bounce a bit here, but this is starting to downtrend. We're consolidating at the lows. Consolidation at the lows is bearish. It's not bullish. And look, I mean, I think this can really, really start to run to the downside over the next few weeks. So that's looking good. Bitcoin dominance again, is the high in? I'm tempted to believe the high is in. We've seen a couple of red days now. So I do think at some point the altcoins will come back to life. A lot of people are starting, they're starting to question, is the cycle high in? They're also starting to question, are we ever going to get an altcoin season? Is this the cycle that it's only going to be Bitcoin and altcoins are just not going to follow, not going to move? You just can't believe it. But it's just crazy to me that these sorts of concerns and people get worried right at the worst possible time. We've talked about this. We are literally going into the most bullish year for altcoins. I mean, look, we have a big, massive red candle, three green candles, another big, massive red candle, three green candles. What's this candle going to do? What color is this candle going to be at the end of this year? I'm happy to bet any amount with anybody that this will be a red candle. So let's see what happens over the next few months. But this for me is, it'd be like getting bearish on altcoins here. That's the equivalent of getting bearish on the altcoin space here. You want to be positioning to good quality altcoins now. I can't make it any more clear to anybody. But like I say, do you want to make money, or do you want to sort of feel comfortable, feel like you are doing the right thing or making the easy trades? I mean, yeah, it's a difficult trade to make, to buy things like Ethereum here, to buy things like meme coins here. They're difficult trades to make because things here are making you nervous. But this is the point of maximum opportunity. We've also seen the dollar start to come down as well. So this is something I mentioned on Friday. Dollar weakness, good for risk assets. I personally think the high for the dollar is in here. I think Trump and the Trump administration are going to do all they can to weaken the dollar. They do have tools at their disposal to weaken the dollar. Obviously tariffs, people are talking about tariffs are going to strengthen the dollar. They have been easing those expectations around tariffs. They can also spend more money. They can stimulate the economy. They can spend more, obviously devaluing the dollar more. They want exports to come down. They want a cheaper dollar, a dollar with less value. That is absolutely, in my opinion, going to be what we see over the next few months. Stock market as well. So closing at new all-time highs. that is the highest that is the highest close we've ever had on the S&P. Absolutely. Very, very strong. And the Nasdaq the same. Yes. So new all-time highs or all-time weekly high closing prices on the stock markets. It looks like we're about to get the same for Bitcoin, and yet people are completely melting down and are panicking and worried and selling all of their crypto bags. It doesn't make any sense, guys. Does not make any sense. Yes, Ethereum is frustrating. Ethereum is relatively weak compared to the rest of the market. I think this Ethereum chart is about to go absolutely vertical to the upside. I think it will take off. We want to break out from this descending trend line, still consolidating, but I can't see how this doesn't happen. Maybe we get one more flush to the downside, wipe out this liquidity down here towards maybe 3,100. If Bitcoin comes down to 100K, you can bet that Ethereum will also come down to 3,100. But I would be a buyer there. I don't think we're going significantly lower. And of course, this can go either way. We either break out, we come down for one more test, and then we go. So we're getting closer and closer and closer every day that passes. I mean, we're going to have resolution on this really coming in to the start of February. So, I mean, if we do just consolidate and grind lower into the start of February, I think that is going to be the time that we really see that move start to occur. But I think it could happen any moment now. I really do think these markets take off very soon. I think that we are just really shaking out the last of the weak hands. And the same with Solana. Solana also looking very strong, just off all-time highs at the moment, trading at 255. And like I say, potentially if Bitcoin wants to come down to 100K, we get one more rolling over in Solana, potentially as low as 234 here, maybe a little bit lower. But I don't really see it. I don't really see Solana breaking down from these levels. I'm bullish here. And again, we go back to what we've been saying for the last couple of months. I think dips are for buying, and I'm targeting higher prices over the remainder of Q1. I still think Q1 will be a very bullish month for crypto. Pepe as well, just sort of grinding it out. Obviously coming down, filling in this wick. As long as we hold above this 1447, it's going to be fine. We might see a wick down to the 200-day moving average, but for me, Pepe is in the buy zone here. It's actually in its buy zone. And yeah, obviously Pepe is a big Ethereum beta play, probably the top Ethereum beta play that I can think of. And it will start to run when Ethereum starts to run. So I'm not too concerned on that. So look, I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover on the stream here. Obviously, since the Friday stream, we've had the CME futures close. So if we actually look, we can see not quite a new all-time weekly close on the CME futures, but very close to it. So, second highest. To me, it's looking strong. So, like I say, what I really want to see from Bitcoin is Bitcoin just to really hold these levels. I think any closes for the week around these levels is going to be bullish. And like I say, potential risk of one more flush to the downside over the next few days. But then I am thinking to myself, we go higher, especially over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, potentially we've got 1 or 2 more weeks of chop consolidation and potentially one more flush. But overall, still remaining bullish, still remaining long and strong. And yeah, if you are nervous, if you are looking at this market and just in a lot of pain, probably means you're either overexposed on leverage or you're overexposed to altcoins. Like I say, I think at some point in the very near future, Bitcoin will break higher. Altcoins will run with it. We will get the elusive alt season at some point. Do not give up. Do not capitulate. Do not throw in the towel at what is the start of what should be one of the most bullish years we've ever seen in cryptocurrency. And the positive news isn't going to go anywhere. So yeah, at some point this market is going to digest it, is going to work it out and is going to react and likely go a lot higher. So yes, I'm going to leave it there. Have a wonderful day and I will talk to you all on the next one. GM, GM, GM.